Hey guys, today I'm going to go over how can you boost your testosterone naturally. This can be an issue for a lot of guys because they want all the benefits of high testosterone, more energy, more drive, more sex drive, more muscle, more strength, high performance. So I'm going to go over how to do that naturally if that's if you feel like that's a factor for you. So number one, I'm going to go over the number one lifestyle factor that causes testosterone to plummet, even in young males. Number two, I'm going to go over the type of exercise that has shown to be helpful at either maintaining or boosting testosterone. And number three, I'm going to give you some simple eating considerations to consider when you're trying to maintain, rebuild, or boost your testosterone naturally. Okay, so number one. The number one factor when they look at guys who have testosterone problems are basically sleep and stress. And when we think about sleep and stress, they're really the same thing. If you get bad sleep, your body's in a high stress state. It can't recover from life, your workouts, all the stuff that's going on in your life. And if you have these two problems, this is actually a good thing, which means that you have a lot of potential to boost your testosterone naturally. Now, if these things were good and you don't, it's said that you don't have as much potential as doing it naturally. You might have to go even the medical route. So if we talk about sleep, what we have to understand is that a couple of things. We have to make sure we're getting to bed earlier. So the more sleep we get before 12 a.m., the more effective it becomes. So like I always try to tell my clients, try to be sleeping or at least get into bed by 10 p.m. or earlier. That's going to make a big difference. If you have trouble sleeping, so if you have a problem where like, hey, you go to bed early but you wake up, you can focus on a few of these things. Make sure you have carbohydrates at dinner. This will help put your body in a relaxed state. Do some meditation and breathing before bed. Try to get away from the screens an hour before bedtime, and also get some sunlight during the day. This can also help with sleep. Now, let's talk about stress. So there's two types of stress. There's stress where, hey, you can't control it. It's work. You have to deal with this shit. You have to feed your family. It's the stress. Then you have stress over here where it's things you kind of purposely do to yourself. It's workouts. It's watching stressful TV. It's engaging in arguments that you don't have to engage in. It's scrolling on social media too much. But let's start with the first one. So the first one, you can't really do much of it, but maybe you can change your reaction to it or how you perceive it. So maybe you can look at bad things as an opportunity, or maybe you can look at it as a challenge, or look at it as an obstacle for you to grow and become better for whatever that situation is. So you can't really do much about the stress, but maybe you can perceive it better, and when we perceive things better, it becomes less stressful. Part of stress is how we perceive things too. So yeah, you can have two of the same things, and one person will get really stressed about it, and the other person will not. Now we talk about the other stress is, can you eliminate stress? So you don't have to watch the news, especially these days, for 4 hours a day. You don't have to go on social media for 4 hours a day. There's some stress that you don't have to deal with. Do you have to argue with people? Do you have to talk to friends who are always negative and they just bitch and complain all the time? You don't really have to do that. And the third thing I want to give you with this section is now we talked about, hey, we're going to improve our sleep. We're going to perceive stress better, and we're going to eliminate or reduce stress that we don't have to participate in. The fourth thing is, now can we do de-stress activities throughout the day that will help us reduce stress? And if we actually reduce stress, oftentimes that improves sleep, and this will help with testosterone. This is probably the number one thing that you can do naturally. So when we talk about things that we can do, is can we go outside? Make sure we get some sunlight every day. That's going to help reduce. Can we go for maybe a walk every day? Can we maybe take up meditation for 5 or 10 minutes a day? If you work out hard, make sure that you have protein and carbohydrates after you work out as soon as you can. That's going to help shut off the stress response from the workout very soon. Make sure after you work out, you always cool down. You do some deep breathing, some light walking. Again, that's going to shut off the stress response. When we work out, we're creating a stress response so we can get results. But afterwards, we need to shut off as soon as possible to reduce stress and help us with the recovery process. Well, those are a few things that you can do to de-stress. But actually anything that really makes you feel good is probably going to help you de-stress. So hanging out with your family, spending time with your kid, watching a funny movie with your wife. All these things can really help de-stress, and that is going to be the biggest factor for improving your naturally boosting your testosterone levels. Now, if you got a lot out of this video so far, I want you to subscribe. I'm putting videos like this out every week, and I have over 100 videos out on fitness, exercise, injury prevention. So it's super beneficial. So number 2, I want to go over some exercise considerations. They have shown that more intense exercise can lead to increases in testosterone and even human growth hormone, which will help rebuild muscle and slow down the aging process. So things like heavy weightlifting, things like sprints. Now, I would make sure I would prioritize heavy lifting over things like HIIT. But remember, these are intense things, and intense things are a stress to the body. So you want to do these things not every single day, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and then make sure you recover from that with some good nutrition strategies and some the sleep and the de-stress I talked about in the last one, because they can be beneficial, but you can overdoing it because they are very stressful. They can almost lead to opposite effects. So make sure when you do it, they should be short, they should be intense, heavy lifts, short sprints, making sure you do it with good form so you don't get hurt. But you can definitely overdo this point. So let me know in the comment section below. Did you know that lifting weights and doing things like HIIT or sprints could naturally boost your testosterone levels and HGH levels? Let me know. I'm curious to find out. And the third thing is some simple eating factors that will help you boost or maintain your testosterone levels. There's a funny thing when they looked at guys' testosterone levels in like the 50s and 60s, and they looked at guys' testosterone levels now, just like average guys. If you took like that average guy from the 50s and 60s and let's say an elite athlete had that same testosterone levels because they're getting tested, they would be fucking convinced that athlete was on a lot of steroids. And that's how much life factor and how we eat have changed so much that the testosterone levels from 50 years ago were so much higher than they are right now. And a lot of this stuff is lifestyle factors, is that we eat a lot more processed food. We eat a lot of food that have chemicals in it. We drink and eat things through plastic. All these lifestyle factors can have a huge impact on a hormone, not just testosterone, but a lot of different hormones. So it's a good idea to eat very low processed food, meats, fruits, vegetables, things that are naturally occurring. If you can afford buying organic, can be really beneficial. And avoiding eating and cooking things that come out of plastic can also be a big one. And then as far as the food that you actually eat, you should definitely prioritize a high protein diet with healthy carbohydrates and healthy fats. As far as eating, those are probably going to be the best ways to support boosting your testosterone level naturally. If you got a lot of this video, I have what I call the Metabolism Rebuilt Blueprint. You go to the description link and click it below, and it's going to give you it's going to give you a checklist of all the things that you can do to naturally boost your testosterone, also optimize your hormones, so fat loss and building muscle can be a lot easier. So I know this was about testosterone, but one of the other ways that we can boost testosterone is lowering our body fat. When we have high body fat percentages, we have more estrogen in our body. So a lot of testosterone that could be turned into testosterone ends up being converted into estrogen, which is a really bad news. So if you're committed to naturally boosting your testosterone, definitely hit that link, download that free resource, and start boosting your testosterone naturally.